Charles Dickens published A Christmas Carol in 1843. In the nearly 2 centuries since, the story has been adapted by everyone from Mickey Mouse to the Muppets, slowly polishing a dark Victorian tale into a predictable holiday trope. For many, Alastair Sim's 1951 performance remains the definitive standard, capturing the character during an era of peak historical saturation. Even when heavy-hitting actors like George C. Scott stepped into the role, they found themselves retreading the familiar beats of a story that felt increasingly exhausted. So when Paramount announced a new adaptation for Thanksgiving 2026, the reaction was immediate apathy. Audiences and critics saw no reason for another visit to a story they already knew by heart. Public domain properties eventually lose their cultural impact. To reach a modern audience, a story this familiar requires a radical genre subversion to break through the fatigue. The marketing for the film shifted abruptly in July 2026, inside the massive Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con. Johnny Depp appeared in full character, buried under prosthetics and hunched over, aggressively hurling candy at the audience while taunting them in a Scrooge-like snarl. The trailer revealed during the panel confirmed that this new film is a dark, terrifying fantasy. By leaning into supernatural dread, Paramount successfully erased the initial apathy surrounding the project. Depp's appearance rebranded the movie, turning a stale holiday reboot into a highly anticipated cinematic event. Paramount selected T. West to direct, a filmmaker known for leading the modern renaissance of visceral horror with movies like Pearl and X. West's trailer utilizes spectral ghost designs and blood-red typography, establishing a tone rooted in psychological thriller mechanics rather than holiday cheer. Looking at this timeline, the 3 ghost visitations follow the exact escalation beats of a modern survival horror film. West uses this shared narrative DNA to transition the genre. The story's final push toward redemption aligns perfectly with a traditional horror climax. The trailer even includes a visual homage to Johnny Depp's bed-sinking death scene in 1984, his very first film role. That original horror classic was directed by Wes Craven, and West uses the reference to solidify the film's roots in the genre. West translates the 19th century fable into the visual language of modern psychological terror. In this version of the story, Ebenezer Scrooge operates as a literal cinematic monster. Depp's physical transformation is extreme, utilizing aging prosthetics and graying sideburns to bury his recognizable features. This character fits into Depp's legacy of playing dark, gothic misfits, serving as his return to mainstream studio filmmaking. The screenplay explores a prequel narrative, focusing on specific childhood and romantic traumas that shaped the character. Diagnosing Scrooge's past trauma grounds him as a psychological thriller protagonist, moving the character beyond the usual caricature of greed. Modern audiences often assume A Christmas Carol was always intended to be a cozy, warm-hearted tale. In reality, Charles Dickens explicitly designed his 1843 novel to be a terrifying ghost story. The original text includes spirits designed to instill dread, using fear to grip the Victorian reader. Dickens weaponized this terror to force his audience to confront the extreme poverty of the 1840s. This urgent historical purpose has been largely replaced by a century of sanitized, cheerful adaptations. By injecting visceral horror back into the story, Ebenezer strips away the commercialized holiday cheer to restore the narrative to its terrifying original roots.